Good morning, good morning. Happy Wednesday, happy Wellness Wednesday. I am so excited and grateful, which is the theme of today, to be here for the 7th week in a row. This is something, Wellness Wednesday is something that has been on my heart for a while, to just have a conversation on a weekly basis with you about wellness items, wellness related topics. It's a very broad topic. I'm just excited about today's topic, not just because Thanksgiving is coming, which is often when we see most people express the most gratitude. I love seeing the flood on Facebook of thankful posts and gratitude posts. It's amazing. The only thing that I would love more is to see it on a more daily basis, not just around Thanksgiving. So if you don't know me, my name is Donna. I am a mom of a beautiful grown woman. I am a nana. I am a girlfriend, significant other, whatever you want to call me, to an amazing man. And I am a wellness advocate, studying personal trainer, activewear fanatic, and really today I am just a girl waiting on a Florida girl waiting on a cold front and trying to mentally will it with my newest favorite hoodie. And if I don't get that cold weather I'm looking for, I'm just going to turn down the AC. I mean, it's that simple. So that is me. And if you're here, I would love to know you're here. Drop a comment, say hi. And if you ever have a topic that you think that you would like me to cover more, I love to learn. So I would encourage you to send me a message or drop a comment. I don't do negative. I don't do politics on Wellness Wednesday. Simply good, shiny things that can help us feel better all day long. So, but if you have a topic that you think affects wellness, and it's something that I can talk about, because I'm not a doctor, I'm not a scientist, shoot me an inbox message, drop a comment, and I would be more than happy to dig into that topic a little bit for a future Wellness Wednesday. Okay, so obviously we're talking about gratitude. Gratitude is super important, and Thanksgiving is a wonderful time to feel and experience and express that gratitude. But there are so many of us, all of us actually, that would benefit so much more if we actually looked for it and expressed it on a daily basis. So that's what I wanted to cover a little bit today. There's a lot of benefits to being grateful. And I know that being grateful seems like a loose term, but it's actually really not that bad. Okay, so benefits to being grateful. Gratitude can actually alleviate pain. And I'm going to have a little personal story here in a few minutes, but let's get over the meat of it first. Gratitude can actually alleviate pain. I've spoken before in a Wellness Wednesday about how uniquely plastic our brains are. We have the ability to rewire the way we think, the way we react to things, but it takes time and it takes daily practice. And that is absolutely something that gratitude should be. The mind-body connection has been getting researched a lot more in the last few years. And the Journal of, yes, I have notes. I'm looking at my notes because I can't remember all of this on my own. An updated study in the Journal of Positive Psychology found that people who intentionally practice gratitude experience fewer aches and pains, and report feeling healthier in general, which is awesome. And that's more than people who don't. It's also been proven to help people take better care of themselves, exercise more, eat better, and more willing to make time for health, medical checkups, things like that, and may even contribute to feelings of wellness. They say may, I say definitely. And when you feel better, you are more likely to make health and wellness a priority. Am I right? I know that's true for me. Gratitude actually can improve health. There have been several self-reported studies and other studies to see that the whole goal was to see if they could measure gratitude objectively. And a study was done on heart failure patients in which half of the patients were asked to keep a gratitude journal, people that had recently suffered heart failure, and half received the normal usual treatment. The results were amazing. The biomarkers for heart failure in the people that kept the gratitude journal, like inflammation, were significantly reduced in the group who kept the journal. The simple act of documenting and reflecting just writing down and thinking about it, on what they were grateful for, elicited quantifiable, that means measurable, shifts in health for those heart failure patients. Now that's pretty stinking amazing. And that's just one study. There's so much digging into neuroplasticity right now, and I'm not going to pelt you with medical terms, but there's so much digging into that and the real power of the mind. We've always known it was there. There's movies made about it. There's lots of myths out there about how we're only using 10% of our brain. I don't know if that's actually true or not, but I do know that I've personally experienced how powerful changing your thinking can actually be. Gratitude also helps people sleep together, not sleep together. Wow, my mouth is not awake this morning. Helps people sleep better. In a study in 2011, two psychologists asked people to make a group of people to make a list of things they were thankful for each night. Do you know that over 40% of those people who made those lists every night got more sleep and fell asleep faster and longer than the ones who did not? It's absolutely incredible what you can learn if you poke around a little bit, or if you've just experienced it yourself. Gratitude elicits healthier choices. You are less likely to, yes, you heard that. You are less likely to make bad eating decisions, to emotionally eat, if you are focused on what you are grateful for. It gives you a better surge in impulse control. I know that especially in terms of anxiety and depression, focusing on what you're grateful for, focusing on good things can be extremely difficult, but it can have a profound effect. And I have personal experience with that as someone who is in daily recovery from anxiety and depression. And as we've already discussed, gratitude can totally change your brain. It changes your perspective. The more you are looking outward, and pointing to the things you are grateful for, the less time and energy you have to focus on the ugly things that are going on. And we all have ugly things going on every day. It truly does boil down to how we look at them and what we find about those situations and things to be grateful for, that changes how we respond and react to things. So, one of the things that I am very, very grateful for, and I'm going to brag on my VIP group for a minute. My VIP group is what I like to refer to now as a VIP community. It is just an amazing group of people who are so fantastic at encouraging each other and supporting each other. We do health challenges. It's just fantastic. But one of the reasons I am grateful for them is because they make me better. They give me a different perspective. When we do these health challenges, sometimes their mindset, sometimes their physical health. A lot of times we do things called a wild card that we started fairly recently. And those wild card items every day are usually mindset items. And one of my favorite things to ask on Thursdays for Thankful Thursday is, what unusual thing are you grateful for today? Because it's easy when you're talking about gratitude to focus on being thankful for your family, your loved ones, your life, if you're having a chat with your creator, whoever you believe that to be. But sometimes those major things we take for granted, and even if we say we're thankful for them, we really truly take them for granted. For me, gratitude means digging into the nitty-gritty. And that's why I often ask, what unusual things are you grateful for today? Because sometimes it can be just a tiny thing, but finding that tiny thing, especially like on a Monday, is the way of looking for the silver lining. So we're going to talk about that. How do you find more gratitude in the daily? I love the quote, if you change the way you look at things, the way you look at things change. Now, I can tell you that for years and years and years of suffering from depression, functional anxiety, social anxiety, all of the things, I would hear quotes like that and literally roll my eyes. I would just literally roll my eyes. I did not believe, I won't say that I had a full-blown victim mindset, but I absolutely did not believe that I had control or power to change anything around me. I felt like I was trapped in my life, and that I had all these things that I had to do, these people that I had to be responsible to and for, and that because of that, I was trapped and I couldn't affect change. And it took a very long time for me to get to a point where I could do that. But a lot of that was gratitude and perspective. So let's talk about that. Whatever your beliefs are, if you believe in God, if you believe in the universe, if you believe in Buddha, if whatever your beliefs are, Mother Earth, start the day by showing gratitude. When you wake up, when you get up, whatever the case may be, a lot of times before I actually get out of bed, I am thinking about the things I'm thankful for. Or I'm very much a believer in God. I drop to my knees and I thank him for life, especially this week. So here's where the personal story comes in. I'm very active. I have been trying to get more consistent, and that included 3 exercise classes a week and 3 runs a week. And last Friday, I injured my back. And I could feel it affecting my mentality to not be able to move. I mean, I was still moving very well, and I was thankful for that. I want to talk about that a little bit more. But at the same time, I could feel it affecting my mentality. I was starting to go into a brain fog. And I think that some of that was me fighting that depression that comes with not being able to do or not feeling capable of doing what I wanted to or felt like I needed to do. But instead, each morning, and it would take a couple hours in the morning for the muscles in my lower back to loosen up enough to get a little personal spine adjustment and get to the point where I could function through the day. But I would have to stop and say to myself, how lucky are you? How thankful are you that you can still get up and move? Because there are people who hurt their backs the same or worse that can't get past that initial discomfort, pain in the morning, and get up and start moving enough to loosen up those muscles. How fortunate are you that you did not hurt yourself enough that you can't get up and function through the day and do basic things? So it was a battle. It was a battle for the last 4 or 5 days. And gratitude won. Gratitude won because I continued to be grateful instead of wallowing. And believe me, I wanted to wallow, especially on Monday when I got a sinus headache on top of the back things. I wanted to lay down on the couch and wallow and just not do anything or talk to anybody because I was feeling sorry for myself. But I just kept focusing on being grateful for what I could do and doing the things that I knew I could do that might help me get better. And the end result was that last night I was actually able to go to line dancing a little bit last night. I was a little nervous at first because the first few moves, I could feel the tightness in my back. But the more I moved, the more it loosened up because I decided to do this yesterday because yesterday was my best day since Friday. The more I moved, I was very cautious at first, the more my muscles loosened up. And then I was able to just actually enjoy it. But then I was scared. I was scared. I was grateful that I was able to do it, but I was also scared about what I was going to be dealing with this morning. If I was going to be able to get out of bed, if I had, done something wrong, if I had made things mad, I didn't know what to expect this morning when I woke up. So when I woke up and it was less painful than it had been for the last 4 or 5 days to get up, I was extremely grateful. Is it tight? Is it a little cranky this morning? Yes, it is. What I am focused on is the ability to move and the fact that I have improved. And that is going to propel me to keep improving. So am I 100% better yet? No. But am I absolutely on my way because of how thankful I am that I was able to do what I could do? Absolutely. And also very thankful to a dear friend that stopped by to see me yesterday, check on me, and bring me some post-workout rub. I really appreciate Carla more than she knows. So that's my my most recent personal story. So where do you find gratitude? Every day, like I said, whatever your beliefs are, start your day in gratitude and surrender, thanking your creator, whatever it is that your beliefs are, for your life. The fact that you were able to get up that morning because so many people can't, or so many people don't, and that you have a whole new day to just make amazing things happen. one of the ways that you can do that, you know, technology, we spend a lot of time on the screen. We really do. Me, especially now, because I run my business from my home and from my phone. But you can use that technology. Send a gratitude message. We have the ability to reach out to people that we have never had before. We're not talking about sitting down, and don't get me wrong, there's a lot to be said for those times where we could sit down and pen a long 3 or 4 page letter to somebody we cared about, talking about them and how we felt about them and updating them on what's going on in our lives and sending that in the mail. But we have the ability to be grateful much faster and with a much broader reach now. So one of the ways that you can find gratitude is to send messages by text, comment on Facebook posts, or send messages in Facebook Messenger, Instagram, whatever your platform, whatever your jam is. If you're an emailer and you're not into all the, if you're an emailer and you're not into all the other social media, that's totally cool. Send a message, 3 people. 3 people a week. If you just send a message to 3 people a week, telling them that you're grateful for them, or grateful for something they posted, or grateful for something they did, said, whatever, you would be amazed what it can do for you. You can look for the helpers, and this is a big one for me. And when I say look for the helpers, what I really mean is look for the silver linings. But when I was thinking about that this morning, I was thinking about Mr. Rogers and the famous look for the helpers. Well, just like there's always helpers in a situation, there's also always a silver lining. And I know that that's really, really difficult sometimes, depending on what's going on. But the truth of the matter is that you can almost always find a silver lining in anything. Even if it's difficult, sometimes it's not till after the fact. A bad diagnosis. Does it result in you changing your diet, changing your exercise habits? Does it result in you spending more time with your family, in you growing closer to God? Well, then those are all silver linings, even in the toughest of times. I have a friend right now that's going through some things, and so that brings up a little bit of emotion. So if I get a little shaky here, I'm sorry. But the truth is it's very, very difficult sometimes to find gratitude in every day. But if you can look for those little silver linings. Years ago, I drive old Jeeps. I'm a huge fanatic over old Cherokees. So I drove to a concert. And on the way home, I kept fighting the urge to stop for coffee, which I probably should have, because I got just a little bit past the Travel Plaza and my big oversized tire flat, gone. And it's hard to make those tires go flat, let me tell you. But because of my Jeep being lifted and those being oversized tires, I did not have a full-size spare with me. So it was not as simple as the Road Rangers just coming to get me and changing my tire for me, because all I had was the old original donut that was in the Jeep, and I didn't have a full-size spare with me. So that night, I was extremely grateful for AAA. I was extremely grateful for AAA. I was extremely grateful for the fact that I had a concealed carry, because I was sitting on the side of the turnpike at midnight, just outside of Orlando by myself. I was extremely grateful that I had the ability to protect myself, the intelligence to know not to get out and walk around. And then I was grateful for the lesson it taught me, which was to go get a full-size spare, mount it on the top of my Jeep, and never, ever, ever travel that far in that Jeep again without a full-size spare. So again, little silver linings. It may not seem like a lot when we talk about it in this perspective, but when you're in that situation, you can make it worse by wallowing in it and stewing in it and ranting about it. And sometimes a little rant isn't bad. It gets it out, makes it feel better. But the best way to get through any kind of situation is to work hard to find the silver linings. There have been days where my vehicle, I had a couple of vehicles. I can get into mechanics all day. Crank position sensors. I have changed crank position sensors in so many vehicles in my life. But a crank position sensor will actually make your vehicle shut off while you're going down the road. I've had that happen more than once, and more than once it's been a situation where I could get off the road quickly. And those are the silver linings. Instead of focusing on what happened, my focus again was on how it could have been worse and how lucky I was that it wasn't. So that's what I mean when I talk about looking for helpers / silver linings, because to me, they're pretty synonymous. And looking outward, not inward. You can almost always find somebody that's in a worse situation than you. And if you focus on that or more, talked about this a little bit in the Give Selfishly edition a few weeks ago. If you can find somebody to help or find somebody to show kindness to, a lot of times that takes the focus off of you and changes your perspective. And that is when you really learn about things that are going on around you, outside of you, that can absolutely cause you to be more grateful for the things that you have. So, one of the best ways they talk about for gratitude, besides what I just touched on, is journaling. Now, journaling is not for everybody. So you can totally journal. Let me just grab, you can use a regular old notebook. It doesn't have to be a fancy journal. It doesn't have to be anything bound in leather. But if that helps you, because it's pretty and you want to open it up and write in it, then that's great. But a simple notebook, journaling daily, things you're grateful for right before bed, in the morning, in the middle of the day when it's a Monday and things are about to explode, that, taking a few minutes to write down the things you're grateful for can change the day. If you just aren't a journaler, that's totally okay. I have some other suggestions. This women's gratitude journal. Now, admittedly, I don't do as well with structured stuff. My daughter got this for me for Christmas a couple years ago, or my birthday, and I started to use it, but I haven't used it consistently, and I'm going to change that because I think it will really help me. Because I want to write down the things that I'm grateful for in that day, but these are more structured and they have prompts in them that lead you towards a specific thing, that just kind of open your mind. It'll start out with a simple prompt like, we always hear about feel-good stories in the news or on social media. Think about a story you heard and how it touched you deeply. What was the story about and why are you grateful for hearing it? So these are a little bit more structured, like I said, where it gives you a prompt and then you write in that gratitude journal according to that prompt. So for somebody that needs a little more structure, this is fantastic, especially if you're struggling to find anything to be grateful for. Having a prompt like that can really get the ball rolling for you. But this is an easy way, and I am going to challenge you to do this. And like I said, my habits have changed, so this is a habit that has changed for me that I haven't been doing as much, and I'm going to get back to it. I actually started this a few years ago, and I would challenge you to start something of this nature as well. If you're not into journaling, if you are not into the structured gratitude journal, if you are struggling to find gratitude, get yourself a container. It doesn't have to be fancy. This one's a little dusty on top. It doesn't have to be fancy, just a container. I keep a block of little pieces, square pieces of paper next to mine. And if you are struggling to find gratitude, take 2 minutes each day to take a piece of paper, write down one good thing that happened that day. Fold it up, you put the date on it, write what it was. Doesn't have to be a lot of words. And you put that in your box, okay? Do that every day for a year. I would encourage you to start now, open it up a year from now, or open it up at the end of next year and pull all of those out and start going through them. You will find in your box so much to be grateful for you cannot even possibly imagine. So this is, if you're not a journaler, if you don't get into the structured stuff, this right here is a way to start that process. And I promise you that if you spend the next year finding one thing good to write down every day to put in your gratitude container, okay, that you will find it so much easier to find gratitude, silver linings in all the little things. So that is all I have for you today. I hope you find that helpful. Gratitude, Thanksgiving presents amazing opportunities to express and feel our gratitude. But we could all be so much better and feel so much better if we found ways to express our gratitude every single day, not just Thanksgiving. So that is all I have for you today. This one was a little bit long, but I hope you found it helpful. If you did find it helpful, please feel free to share it. Please feel free. I would also challenge you, drop in the comments something you are grateful for today, whether it's now while you're watching or later after you've been through the day a little bit. Drop in the comments something you are grateful for. And again, as always, wellness is a broad topic. If you have something you would love to see me cover on wellness, send me a message, and I love to learn. I will be more than happy to dig into it. If it's not something that you know how to dig into or have the time to, I would be more than happy to do that for you and cover it. Again, no politics, no negativity. And that, y'all, is something to be grateful for. So have a fabulous Wednesday. I hope you enjoyed this week's Wellness Wednesday. Again, share it if you think it will help somebody. If it helped you, drop a comment about something you're grateful for and send me a message about any kind of, and if you would like to be part of that amazing VIP group I spoke of, absolutely send me a message. I will get you in there. No strings attached. You just have to be encouraging. That's it. All right. Have a fabulous Wednesday. Thank you so much. I am so grateful for you.